So, Masked Rider episode 3. I gotta say, I think I like this show. I wonder how much of it has to do with the fact that I'm hearing Digimon's music, which I think I keep forgetting to mention that. I keep thinking about it, and I don't think I mention it. But this has the score. The score from this show was later repurposed for Digimon, which was also localized by Saban. And, man, it's such a good score. And I actually, in finding this, I did some research, and I found that the composer released the entire album, so you can get that, check it out. It's on archive.org. It's linked on like a Reddit page, and it's also linked somewhere else. I think it's on the composer's personal website as well. So the music is dope. I really love hearing it. It really works in some places. It feels a little much for a live action show, perhaps, but maybe it's just because I'm so much more used to seeing it over Digimon. But it feels perfect for Digimon, and it's like I'd give it like an 85 or 90% here in the way it's been used in the show. I thought the Furbus stuff was funny. Him being at the school, him stowing away, him eating the stuff at the school, him causing trouble, and there being Furbus shenanigans was actually pretty funny. And like looking at the different camera techniques of like the way they have like the camera like on Furbus, making him run and stuff, was pretty impressive. And I could tell sometimes, like one scene for sure, running in front of the principal's office, there was a guy in a suit, and in the other scenes, or girl, could have been girl, I don't know. I heard it was Vern Troyer, but I don't know that for sure. That's Mini-Me, famous for Mini-Me, and from Austin Powers, and I'm not sure what else, actually. I saw him in some other stuff, but I think it was all post Austin Powers. Anyway, regardless, may he rest in peace. But anyway, so like the Furbus stuff was funny, and like it was interesting to see how they did this, and like they were using the Angel High School, set for this Leewood High School, and just like kind of watching them repurpose stuff is pretty interesting. One thing that they're definitely repurposing is those maggots. And do you want to say anything more about Furbus? I don't know. I just thought it was cute and funny. So I mean, I don't know. But anyway, moving on to some other stuff. I like how the maggots, like, they weren't very threatening, and there was some silly slapstick with them, but I think they definitely, I was wondering why they picked T.J. Roberts, because we didn't get to see very much of his martial arts in the other episodes so far, in the 3 of A Friend in Need, and then in these first 2 episodes. But in this 3rd episode, so in overall his 6th episode as Masked Rider, as far as I know, going in chronological order is what I really mean, or by air date. I think he's a competent martial artist. Like, he looked really cool. He looked intense. He looked like he was definitely in his element. As far as the performance is concerned, for the fighting, he did a civilian fight, just the one, I believe. And a tiny bit of the stunt riding on the top of the car while Mr. Lee was driving. And gosh, I didn't know, that was really cool. I was really impressed by him, and I thought, oh, no wonder this guy got picked. Like, I thought. Here's what I thought. There was a mean way to put it, but that's not what I mean. So I'll just say how I actually mean it. I think when they chose him, they were probably thinking, the kids love Tommy, they love the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, and they're going to love this guy too, because he's a similar style of martial artist. Now, them going head-to-head or whatever, I don't know, but just seeing his prowess, I thought, that's pretty freaking good, because I was super impressed as a kid by seeing his first, like, hanging out in the dojo by the juice bar stuff as Tommy, back in, what would it have been Green with Evil? I guess it was Green with Evil at first, right? And even Austin St. John, too, seeing him go, pretty impressed, like, oh, these guys are actual martial artists. And I think Steve Cardenas is, too. I'm not sure about everybody else. Amy Jo Johnson was a gymnast, I believe. A gymnast and dancer was her thing. But regardless, like, just seeing his performance and him fighting, I thought, like, oh, this guy's cool. And I totally get it. So I've gone on about that enough. Mr. Lee, I thought they did a cool job with him. I almost wonder if it was the same actor from Black RX, but it would have been like 93, 94, 95. It would have been like 8 years later. He still could have been working for Toei, or maybe they just hired the guy because he was doing action stuff still or whatever. And I wasn't offended by the way they dubbed over his voice, but it was interesting. That being said, though, I just watched the Ultraman dub, the old one that was released by Mill Creek, that was done. I don't know what the history is. Check out Mike Dent's Vintage Tension if you want to know about that. But anyway, I don't mind the dubs. It's just Mr. Lee was funny. But so I can't tell how much of that footage was original from Black RX and how much of it was original to this show. I know in the warehouse, at one point they cut to whoever was the stunt actor for Masked Rider, sorry, not Black RX, but Masked Rider here in the States. They've got like a kind of shoddily put together. You can't really tell if you're not looking though. If you're a kid and you don't care, or you're not thinking that hard about it, you wouldn't notice. But I noticed, because I'm so deep and passionate about this, that they set up another scene somewhere here in the States to make it look as if he was in the scene when I think he jumped up to do the rider kick on him. But I kind of feel like it was when he got sent into the electrical panel before it unleashed his, like he metamorphosed into a like cyborg guy to like a full-on battle robot or whatever, larva bug or battle larva, something like that. I can't remember the name, but anyway, but like the Mr. Lee felt very threatening. He had that real cool like fist gun thing that he used, and anyway, then finally I couldn't believe like they let it be aired that Black RX / Masked Rider decapitated this robot man. Of course, he like has another head that sprouts out, and it, you know, escalates the battle. And then they have T.J. Roberts do this ridiculous line of like, "Oh, cool head," and it was just like, why would you say that? Like, I'm sure it would have been like, "Oh no," or like, like "I'm ready," like something like that would have been cooler. But maybe him being nonchalant, kind of like Spider-Man, you know, cool head thing is like just to show his competence or prowess or his confidence. I'm not sure, but I thought it was a funny line reading it. Kind of, I don't know, made me question everything in my life. But anyway, it was cool. It was the stock footage stuff was cool. Like I said, I like the Furbus stuff. I liked seeing the civilian fight. I hope we get a lot more civilian. Like at least I want one civilian fight per episode. I want them to be able to be a little bit longer, and they must have like a smaller budget to not have like, you know, 10 putties or whatever for a fight. But you know, 2 or 3 maggots against one guy, that should be enough. And like the Power Rangers where they had like 10 to 12 putties most of the time when there was 5 of them. But it's not enough. And in Power Rangers you get to see, you know, one person fights, then the second, then the third, fourth, fifth, and you pan through all their fights, and it lasts a couple minutes. But in this, it's one guy, you know, 2 or 3 enemies, and how long can he fight them? He can't fight each of them for a minute. That's 3 minutes of runtime. These shows are only like 22 minutes long, and that's with the credits and the opening and out and intro and outro. So you can't do that much more. But anyway, I just really liked seeing that. I don't know, the show feels really solid. The only thing I don't like is Dragon is like already down on his crew, and he's like, "I'm surrounded by fools." And it's like, dude, you're only a little bit into this. Oh, one thing I do like though is that Dragon knows where Dex lives. This is going to undermine what I'm about to say. He knows where he goes to school, and he tries to attack him at his school, so he's more vulnerable there, so he's easier to kill. But why not just attack him at home? Maybe he shouldn't know where he lives. Maybe it should just be like, man, this kid keeps popping up because I'm all the way up in space and I don't have, you know, adequate satellites to tell me where he is and where he's coming from and whatnot. But I don't know. Another thing, combat chopper. He gets summoned by Dex to save him from the big Robotron battle larva bug dude. And the puppeteering on him is not so great. Even early 1971 Kamen Rider, he's fighting an ant guy, there's an ant hill, and he's falling down, and he flips the thing on one of the things on his belt on the other side, and it ends up being the case that he's able to, he has the Cyclone shoot a rope down to him, and then he gets that and pulls himself back up or something. But like, they puppeteer the bike, and it looks super cool. And there's stuff from Japan, from Black RX, where the motorcycle's being puppeteered, and it looks great too. But then they did like this weaker stuff, and I almost wonder if they were using the same rig that they used to like puppet Furbus while he's running or sliding or rolling in the wagon or whatever. That was from the previous episode. If they use the same thing with the motorcycle, and it just didn't look as good because it's like, it's for Furbus, not for a full-on motorcycle, and that thing's probably a couple 100 pounds at least, right? Motorcycles are heavy. Anyway, but yeah, so there's little nitpicks here and there. You know, the maggots are a little too weak, and like Dragon's too upset already, I think. But overall, I'm really liking the show, so we'll see how quickly I get through this before Black Sun arrives. But this is all kind of building towards that, and I'm excited for that. So anyway, I almost forgot. They called the show, like, it's a Toei and Bug Boy Productions joint thing, and that's Karate Bugman is funny. That podcast was fun. Those guys were cool. But calling it Bug Boy Entertainment or whatever for your official show that you're doing, come on, guys, don't do that. That's it. Check out all my other stuff. I've got Dawn Brothers coverage, Super Sentai Sanctuary. You can find that over at mjminus.com. I've got Dawn Brothers short videos, unique from my Super Sentai Sanctuary full episode review and analysis that are going wherever my short videos go, on YouTube, TikTok, wherever. So find those there. Anyway, this is MJ. Until next time, folks, I leave you with peace and blessing.